Hi there, good morning from Taiwan, from Taipei specifically. I am out trying to squeeze in about 3 days of visiting into one day. So I arrived day before yesterday into a typhoon. And so yesterday I was basically locked in, gave me lots of time for reading, but now I'm down at Liberty Square or Freedom Square, but it's just fascinating. So behind me is the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial. Of course, I grew up hearing about Chiang Kai-shek, the leader of the Nationalist Party, born 1888, the Chinese Nationalist Party, that is, of course. Just so much to unpack here. This island was known as Formosa, which was given a beautiful island by the Portuguese way back in the 1550s when they were sailing around into Asia here. There was a short-lived period where this island became a republic, like 151 days, and then it was colonized by the Japanese. So the story becomes quite complicated after that, because at the end of World War II, the Japanese are defeated, of course, and Formosa, Taiwan, is handed back to the Republic of China, which seems very reasonable. And of course, the majority of the population now are Chinese. Historically, it was a very interesting mix that I'm not going to try and speak to because it's just a little complicated for me to unpack. But they have a civil war in China, of course, big violent affair. And eventually, of course, the Communist Party under Mao Zedong wins, and Chiang Kai-shek and the Nationalists come over and establish the Republic of China here on the island of Taiwan. Now, that's history I think most of us learn, and it is really interesting. But I just went through, so I went up to see Chiang Kai-shek, and his memorial is up top, and it's a real statue. It feels a bit like the Lincoln Memorial in the States, that sort of thing. But basically, he was a dictator one way or another. And so they had the 228 uprising in 1947, where between 18 and 28,000 people were killed. By 1949, after losing the civil war over mainland China and moving here, they established martial law, and it was not fully repealed until 1991. Now, I vaguely remember the protests back when I was at university. So, I mean, it's fascinating to read about, but it was a very, very honest conversation inside the memorial. Fortunately, they had those audio tours. There you can see, there's the big memorial up behind me, and Chiang Kai-shek is up there. He defended, one can argue, defended the republic concepts of China here on this island, and of course it's an ongoing thorn in the side of China, which is still ostensibly, in fact, celebrating this year, it's 75 years of the revolution. And of course we hear so much about the great leap forward in China and how many people died there. But here, at least 140,000 people were imprisoned and several thousand died during the martial law period. And so the audio tour that I did on the inside was talking about the long walk to freedom of speech in this country. An interesting conversation. I don't feel like I can say that much about it because I'm certainly not an expert at this. My first time here, and like I say, I'm flying away tomorrow, so I'm squeezing as much in as I can. But I just want to curve around. I would have done a live virtual tour, but I'm pretty busy today. But if you look around, we have the National Theater back there behind me, and then the big gate, which again translates to either liberty or freedom, and then the National Concert Hall, and I may well have just gotten those backwards. But it was very easy getting here. The metro system is a breeze. It's not very expensive. Use the Taiwan dollar while you're here. And food is, well, what I've had so far is just excellent, but then I really like Chinese food. They speak Mandarin Chinese principally here. Again, I do not, so I can say hello and thank you. So that's the extent of it. So I'm always a little bit more like a fish out of water where I can't read as well. But everything's bilingual, at least in public services that I've used, so made it very easy to get around. And they are cleaning up after the typhoon, and it was pretty messy in terms of branches and planters and all of that, but they did a great job. I understand, I understand one person lost their life on the island yesterday, which is always a tragedy, but Taiwan was prepared for it. And it was the first major typhoon after October 15th to be recorded on the island. So all very interesting, but there's lots to unpack, but I just wanted to share some of this memorial. It was the first thing I came to. I don't know if I'll be able to squeeze in another museum today, but we are going to have to go up the big tower 101. It is actually in the distance behind me there, a little hard to see, but that famous building you see of every picture of Taiwan. Anyway, please share this, and thanks for subscribing, and I'll see if I can squeeze in a live, but I probably can't, so All the very best from Taipei.